Good morning, my name is Nick Figueredo, and welcome to Living Well, brought to you by Senior Helpers on this Ask the Experts weekend on FM 96.5 News Talk WDBO. The phone numbers to call Living Well are 407-297-9696 or 855-297-9696. Now here's your host of Living Well, Corey Brewer.
Thanks, Nick. Good morning, and thank you for joining us. I am Corey Brewer, the Director of Business Development for Senior Helpers. This morning, I am sitting in for your regular host, Dale Gardner. We have with us this morning Stefan Beringer, president of Get the Clicks. He is an author of Web Marketing Made Simple. He is a contributor of Fox News, and he's also certified to teach CEUs for the state of Florida. And he's built his own SEO marketing system called Clicks. Good morning, Stefan. Thanks for being with us. And let's get started with having you tell us a little bit about your background.
Sure. Good morning. How are you? Thanks for having me on today. I actually got started in this back when Alta Vista was the big search engine. There's a little throwback for everybody. But I come from a marketing background, and back in the 90s, I was in real estate development, and we were in charge of putting together a website in 1997 when people started talking about this thing called the World Wide Web. Well, anyway, make a long story short, I was put in charge of that, and next thing you knew, I fell in love, got very, very passionate about it, and in 2000, turned it into a business.
It's always nice to find something you're passionate about and be able to do that. Now, explain to us, your company does reputation management. Explain to us what that is.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, there's many facets to the web nowadays. You know, people people understand that there's web development, there's search engine optimization, but some of the latest things that have really taken a hold of a lot of folks out there is this concept of reputation management. And it's essentially search engines and businesses working very hard to convey to the end user that they're a reputable organization and that it's okay to go ahead and contact them. It is almost an outgrowth of what's been happening over the last couple of years with social media.
And, you know, this will make sense to our listeners why we are talking about the internet. Of course, our show is Living Well, and a lot of the people who are listening are used to hearing about, you know, health issues and financial planning and different things of that nature. But a lot of the people who are listening are somewhat familiar, everyone's familiar with the internet and online, but we wanted to kind of touch on how this technology, this internet, World Wide Web, reaches to everybody. Because the growing, I heard a statistic recently that people 55 and up, that is the largest, fastest growing segment of daily people for the first time getting online. And so because of that, and the nature of our show, we thought it'd be a good idea to kind of talk about how this affects those people and a good resource that it is. So you have some statistics for us that I thought was pretty interesting that I would like you to kind of touch on. So the first one, I already kind of said the statistics of people who are going online, but about email. Start off with telling us those statistics.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. It understanding reputation management and understanding some of the statistics out there actually ultimately are going to help people, live better. But you're right. There's about 60% of seniors 65 years and older are now online of some sort of another. About 90% of them use email. And many of them have purchased things online. As a matter of fact, the statistic runs anywhere from about 58 to 60% of folks of that age group are now purchasing things online, and businesses need to be aware of that, especially, and I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit later, when it comes to reputation management, because it's so important with seniors to help out with that. Many of them are engaged in social media. Of course, the 800-pound gorilla out there being Facebook, there's a lot of folks that are now jumping on. About half of seniors online are now part of Facebook, part of the Facebook community, and some of them are actually very, very active. You can see that from almost more an IT type standpoint, 3/4 of them use desktops. About quarter to about a half are on laptops, and then actually a small number is actually now on your mobile devices and your especially your tablets. Not so much the phones, because it's harder to see on the phones, but tablets. About 4 to 5% are now on tablets, but it's the fastest growing segment on there. So it's pretty neat to see how our seniors are really jumping online.
I want to kind of touch on some of the things that are a benefit. And the first thing that I think of are parents and children who are out of state or not living close to one another. Mm-hmm. And they are, they'll call mom or dad and mm-hmm. say, hey, how you doing? Mm-hmm. They sound good. Mm-hmm. And their parents say, hey, I'm doing good. Doing well, I should say. And, everything is fine, but they can't see them. Mm-hmm. So they're going on their word, and their parents may think, yeah, they are fine. Mm-hmm. But mm-hmm. they come down and visit them and realize their mom or dad's lost 20 pounds. Yeah. They couldn't see that, with talking on the phone. Right. But there's technology that is pretty simple to use that they can just get going and be able to see mom and dad. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of services out there that enable you to communicate, with anybody really, more than just, over voice. Even Google has jumped into the game, but the big service out there is Skype, and it's a fantastic service. It enables you to make phone calls off your computer. It's very simple to install. It's very easy to use, and you can see mom and dad. So you can check on them, like you said, how is their health? You get some FaceTime. You can go ahead and essentially see how they're doing versus just hearing it. It's also great for the grandparents to see the grandkids and see how they're growing up and the things that they can go ahead and do with them. So that's it's a wonderful, wonderful tool to have. You can conference call even if you wanted to. So if you wanted to talk to, if a grandparent wanted to talk to multiple, children at the same time, even if they want to plan something, they can go ahead and do that. The reason why I'm a big proponent of Skyping is it's relatively, it's very, for the most part, it costs nothing. You can get some upgraded services that you can charge, that they'll charge for. But for the purposes of living well, the free Skype accounts work absolutely wonderfully.
Yeah, my parents, they actually use it too, because my sister and husband and their kids live in Atlanta, and my parents live here in Central Florida. And so they will Skype and they get to see, but some of the other things that, that I'll just throw out there, besides weight loss, I had said earlier, but if mom or dad has a bruise that, is not going away, or a cut that's not healing, or, something that just doesn't look right. They're pale. They're, where you just cannot, get over, a phone conversation, those are different things that will identify that. So there's a lot of different benefits. There's the checking in to make sure that everything is okay, and then there's the enjoyment of seeing your grandchildren, and it's a much more fun conversation when you can see somebody anyway.
You make a really good point. One of the things that actually is pretty cool about Skyping is that it is fun. It is different. It is not the monotonous, I'm going to hold my, phone up to, my ear for, 30 minutes, talking to everybody. No, it's fun. You can go ahead and see how everybody's doing. And it's entertaining. Definitely is.
It is. I can't remember the name of the movie, but there was a movie where there was a handicapped person who was talking to somebody on the phone, and they picked out an outfit, and they, on the other end, they said, or he had said, "Hey, what about this outfit?" And he takes the phone, he holds it up to the outfit, like they would be able to see it on the other end.
Right.
And different things like that too.
Right.
Just you can, hey, look at what I got, and see this picture, grandma and grandpa that I drew, or that type of thing. So it is fun.
It is. And, the other thing, the other, big thing about Skyping that is starting to take off is, Skyping has a nice app. And so you can go ahead and use that app on your mobile devices. And with more and more seniors coming online that actually want to be more mobile, they can literally Skype off of their tablets and have the app installed and be on the go, be on the golf course, and at the same time be able to, communicate with everybody. So I think it's great. It's a wonderful tool. I would highly recommend to anybody, start using it, whether you are looking to use it on a personal level or maybe even on a business level.
And real quickly, how easy is it to get started doing that? You said it's free, but how easy is it to get
It is really
set up?
simple. You go to Skype, skype.com, and you download their application. It drops directly. It installs on your computer. And you can go ahead and very, very easily launch it. You then actually have to set up an account with them. That's got your own username and password ID, much like a Facebook and anybody else out there would have it. And then you can go ahead and really make phone calls pretty quickly. You can even add address books to be able to organize yourself. So it's a wonderful application to be able to work with.
Well, we need to go to our first break. Stefan, can you give us your website and your phone number?
Sure. It's gettheclicks.com, and our local number here in Orlando is 407-681-4100.
Welcome back. This morning we are joined by Stefan with Get the Clicks. And if any of the things that you are hearing on this show this morning you want to find out more information about, you can either call our office at 407-628-4357. That's 407-628-4357. Or you can go to seniorhelpers.com/Orlando and get any of this information. Now, Stefan, we wanted to go into some of the resources that are out there. Can you go over what those resources are?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the whole point of being able to provide quality information is obviously very, very pertinent to a lot of our seniors out there nowadays. And there are some organizations out there that I feel are wonderful, wonderful resources for them. The first two are obviously the AARP. They do provide amazing information, and actually their website is rather comprehensive. The other thing, especially when it comes to actually finding vendors that are reputable, the Better Business Bureau does a wonderful, wonderful job with that. Now, one of the big things with it is that a lot of people also need to realize is that Google is jumping into that reputation management game, and I know we're going to talk a little bit more about that later. But what I'd like to touch on right now is that Google has actually now developed a scoring system. What they did is they bought Zagat, the restaurant rating system, last year, and have decided that they're going to go ahead and start assigning the Zagat scores to every single business. And so we're going to see more and more of that online. And those Zagat scores are driven specifically by reviews of what other people have experienced with those types of businesses. The last organization that is very near and dear to my heart that I think provides wonderful information is honestly Rotary. Rotary is first and foremost a community service-based organization, but it was actually started on the principles of networking. networking and building the vocational structure of Rotary over 100 years ago. Now, our district here locally, District 6980, which is governed this year by Rick Baines, is making a big push to help with that, to try and showcase reputable businesses online who are also part of Rotary. And what is happening is that Central Florida Rotary clubs are joining this online business directory that is actually going to provide folks with a wonderful resource and very reputable business owners to be able to go to. You know, Rotary has something called the four-way test, and Rotarians really live by that. And the four-way test is that we recite in all of our meetings is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And is it beneficial to all concerned? And that's really what we live by. And I know that seniors especially can and should take advantage of working with the types of businesses that already have that trustworthy reputation built in. So it is definitely something that I would recommend as one of the top resources that people should go to. And they can go to rotarydistrict6980.org and reach out and find wonderful businesses that can help them out there.
And it's good if you have something that is already a filter to have people, a resource for people to make decisions on different services or whatever is out there, that might as well take advantage of it. It's there. Well, we have to take another break. Can you give us your phone number and website real quick?
It is 407-681-4100. And I think what we also like to go ahead and do is we'll post some of this information on our blog at gettheclicks.com.
We have in the studio with us today, this morning, Stefan with Get the Clicks. And we are going to start this next topic segment by talking about online crime and how we can be aware of not falling for these different pitfalls.
Right. I you know, unfortunately, seniors are targeted very, very heavily because, unfortunately, they're easy targets. You know, they grew up in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and they were, you know, they were taught to be polite and trustworthy. And, you know, those are wonderful, wonderful values to have. Unfortunately, with, you know, the internet being global, there's lots of people who don't share those values. And so they really, really take advantage of them. And it's really a shame. But, you know, there's some major ripoffs that are going on out there right now. And if it's all right with you, Corey, I just, you know, like to share a couple of them so that your listeners have an idea of what's actually going on out there.
I'd like to know myself.
Yeah. You know, first and foremost, probably one of the biggest ones has to do with online prescription drugs, them being counterfeit, and you know, folks actually ordering them online. You know, a reputable online pharmacy is going to have the VIP seal, and VIP stands for Verified Internet Pharmacy Practice Site. You know, it is legal to purchase and sell pharmacy, you know, drugs online as long as it is a reputable organization. Now, the Association of Boards of Pharmacy here in the United States has come up with a system that verifies that. So if you're going to go ahead and purchase something online with respect to pharmacy, with respect to drugs, make sure that they're certified that way. Look, any emails that come to you from anything that looks anything like Medicare, asking for your personal information, stay away from it. Anti-aging products being sold online, that's turning into a big problem. Fake virus scanning softwares that will pop up when you suddenly arrive at a website and you know, they're asking you to go ahead and purchase antivirus software. Those are 9 times out of 10, those are bogus. And we always recommend just call a local IT company, you know, do a Google search for Orlando IT company or something along those lines, and, you know, pick some of the folks at the top, and they'll do a great job to figure out if you actually have a virus. Investment schemes are always big. Reverse mortgage scams, that's a big one. I'll be very, very careful with those. Sweepstakes scams are still out there, so be careful of those as well. And then, unfortunately, one of the latest ones, which really tug at the heartstrings, is emails literally from alleged grandkids or from the grandkids saying, "Hey, I need money. I'm so sorry. I need help with the car payment. I need help with rent. Please don't tell mom and dad." And unfortunately, some seniors have unfortunately fallen for it. Some great websites that are out there that you can go and check if a business is reputable is organizations like scambusters.org, ripoffreport.com, consumerfraudreporting.org, and actually the National Council on Aging has some good information on that as well. We'll probably go ahead and actually post a list of these items on our website at gettheclicks.com as well.
Yeah, I know that there's a lot of scams, and people from other countries. A lot of times they'll be
Right.
not even here,
Right.
and they'll send out these wire money to my account,
Right.
or if you wire this money to my account, then you'll get 10 times the amount back in yours, and those are all things that you need to be aware of.
Yep. Run, and if there's any way that you can report it, report it. Yeah, the
Definitely.
FTC is very interested in that.
Now, along with the reputation management, what should people be looking for in that sense for reputable companies online?
Right. Most businesses, especially when they're starting out, are obviously local. Very, very few businesses right from the start hit the ground running and go on a national level. And Google has recognized that. There's lots of businesses out there that want to market themselves in a reputable manner on a local level. And so what Google has really done is they want to go ahead and open the internet to those types of organizations that don't just have deep pockets to potentially put themselves at the top of Google, but actually help the small guy to be able to get to the top as long as they serve that customer well. The whole concept of turning your customers into raving fans of your company can really help with that. And so for the end user, for the consumer, Google has actually created a system that they're still working on, that they're still working to implement, that essentially develops this core set of ratings for every single business. So essentially what they have done is, to make a long story short, is Google has been wanting to get into the social media game for quite a while. And of course, the 800-pound gorilla out there is Facebook. Everybody knows that. And a few years back, Google started their own social media network. And it launched with lots of fanfare, and then it was a thud. It was called Google+. It's still around. But nobody's really using it. Just be brutally honest. But Google is determined to go ahead and get into this arena. And so what they've said, okay, fine. Well, if nobody wants to go ahead and use our social platform, we're going to make you. And they then took 3 of their products, the Google Business Pages, Google Local, and their social network, Google+. They threw it all in a blender and literally blended it up to create this product called Google+ Local. And Google+ Local is essentially local businesses that are in a directory fashion now showing up on your local searches. It used to be called Google Maps, and then for a while there, people may know it as Google Places. But what Google has done is they have blended all of this information together into their main search results. And so for folks that are looking for reputable companies, they will start seeing these Zagat scores. And these Zagat scores are out of 30. And the higher number out of 30 that you will see there is showing you how good other people think that particular business is. It's driven by reviews and it's driven by scores. So if somebody comes to us and they want to say, hey, Get the Clicks is doing a great job, we're going to ask you, please go rate us online so other people can see. And every business out there should be encouraged to go ahead and do this, because it really helps folks make an educated decision to be able to go ahead and find a business that can actually go ahead and help them.
Well, I know, like if I'm looking for something online, if I want to buy something, I'll go to Consumer Reports sometimes, but the thing that's most valuable to me is I will actually recently I bought something at Lowe's, and so on their website, people have put reviews for the different products, and I read a ton of those reviews, and it changed my mind. Okay, I'm not going to buy this because the reviews were, this particular product, lasted for, one use and then it broke.
Right.
And I saw a lot of those. Right. And so I went to another one and read the reviews, and they said, hey, this works good. So it's kind of the same thing.
Right. Right. And really what we're doing, I'm so lucky to have such an amazing team behind us, and we spend a lot of time helping businesses get to the top of Google through certain things that we do with respect to optimizing the websites and driving the SEO here in the Orlando area up to the top. But we've got some wonderful folks that in our organization, such as Jennifer Wheeler, Jennifer Ordonez, Frank Ramirez, that work specifically on this reputation management side of the business to help businesses understand this better. We do lunch and learns, whether you're a client or not. We do lunch and learns to explain this to folks, because at the end of the day, the adage of having to be at the top of Google really, it does not hold that much water anymore. Yes, you want to be at the top of Google because that's where the most traffic is, but you do not have to be number one anymore. That reputation score teaches the end viewer to be able to see, hey, here is a reputable company with a great score, and they might be in the third or fourth position, and the guys at the top, they might have the deeper pockets. They got all the way to the top, but their score isn't that great. Mm-hmm. And so for the end consumer, for the end user, understanding these particular scores can make all the difference in the world, whether you're going to end up with a vendor that is not going to do a good job versus a vendor that's going to do a great job.
When can we look? I've seen some of these scores already, but it's not on everything. When can we see this fully implemented?
Right. They're continuously working on it. Right now, what you can go ahead and see is you can see these scores starting to roll out in the regular Google searches when you do a local search for a business. So, for example, I love to use the example, because we're on the radio here, so we kind of have to do it this way, but I love to use the example of if you go to Google and you just do a search for Orlando plumber, you will see several plumbers show up for the Orlando searches, and a lot of them already are starting to have these scores. These scores are driven by those reviews, but they're also cross-referenced by other directories. So you will have the yellow pages that Google looks at, super pages, Manta, Kudzu, all these other directories that are out there that will actually help Google make a great determination as to where a business should be ranked. Reviews, number of positive reviews, number of total reviews, that all factors in. But you don't have to have a lot of reviews to be able to be at the top. As a matter of fact, you don't even need to have a single review to show up at the top of Google, depending on how much competition you have, how strong that competition is, and where else you show up on the directories. And that's where it gets really, really unique, and where customized services for a particular business can actually help you really. Look, you can get to the top of Google. Any business can do it. It's just a matter of how you want to get there, and your end users, your viewers, your folks that are looking for a reputable business, whether it's for mom and dad, whether it's for themselves, they really need to learn to understand that this is a wonderful, wonderful tool to have at your fingertips, in addition to lots of the other services, like Rotary and the BBB that are out there that provide that same information.
Yeah, because for so long there was nothing online where you could see, is this company good or not?
Right.
I mean, it could look really, nice, and they spent, thousands of dollars, creating a very nice looking, website, but that's just, the storefront when you, if you will, go in and see, the inside is like, oh, okay, this isn't so good. But, so the smoke and mirrors, with a nice looking website is not going to be enough anymore. And I think, Google's doing a smart thing, because it's helping us as consumers and people that are, researching and, different things to know, hey, this is good, or this isn't.
I totally agree with you. And, lots of people, here's where a lot of businesses that actually want to cater to specific market segments make a huge mistake. They think of their website as a marketing tool. It's not. It's a sales tool. And what I mean by that is that marketing is everything that happens before somebody visits your website, right? Once you're on the website, you're looking to convert that potential viewer into a customer. So you're convincing them that you're the best solution for their needs. That's sales. That's not marketing. And the sooner that businesses learn to understand that, the sooner they're going to be able to cater to very specific niche markets. Businesses will do great, and your end users, your folks that are looking for a service for mom and dad, or mom and dad looking for a service, will find a reputable business that is going to be able to deliver exactly what it is that they're looking for. And Google understands this, and that's how they're structuring everything.
Well, we're about to go to another break. Can you give us your phone number and website again?
Sure, absolutely. We are a search engine optimization company. Our phone number is 407-681-4100. Our website is called gettheclicks.com. Been around for many years. Love what we do. Put lots of businesses at the top of Google.
Welcome back to Living Well. We have been speaking today with Stefan with gettheclicks.com, and we have been discussing various topics with online use and some pitfalls that are out there, and some different things that we should keep in mind when we're online, and different social media aspects of it as well. And there's some closing suggestions and other things that you wanted to kind of touch on. So what are those things?
Right. And I think your audience would really appreciate some of this, but I would like to go ahead and take a minute or so and just help some of the business owners out there with their websites for a second, to actually make it a little more senior friendly. I understand that many of you wear many hats out there, but what you really want to go ahead and do is on a monthly basis, go look at your website. And here's just some suggestions that I would have, or that we really as a company make to our clients when it comes to helping folks understand and see the website better. So for our senior community out there, you definitely want to provide some kind of a tool on your website where you can change the font size, make it smaller, make it larger, so that you can accommodate for eyesight. You want to go ahead and have your phone number, make it easily accessible. Seniors prefer to call than fill out a form. Build familiarity, build a relationship with pictures that truly are you. You don't want to go ahead and use canned images. People see right through that, in all honesty. Do not use CAPTCHAs. CAPTCHAs are those little verification codes that are at the bottom of your forms. Lots of people disagree with us on this, but here's the story on CAPTCHAs. CAPTCHAs are like gates and gated communities. They keep the good people out. There's software programs out there now that solve these CAPTCHAs for you automatically. So anybody that wants to spam you, they're going to have that, and they're going to just get right past you. So CAPTCHAs are a hindrance when it actually comes to generating leads for businesses that cater to the senior community. Make links easy to see. Make them bigger. Make sure that it's the right colors. Think about what your website looks like on a smaller monitor, and also go with very little animation. You do not want to have a lot of animation on your website. Our system, we have a system called Clicks, and in our Click system, it's checklist based. One of the checklists that we have in there actually go through what it is that we can go ahead and do to make a website more user friendly, and that incorporates many of the things that essentially help the senior community. You want to work with an agency. You want to work with a search engine optimization agency, a web design agency that doesn't try to shoehorn you in a package. You're very unique, and you want to make sure that the business that you're catering to is going to be able to accommodate those folks that are ultimately your target market, and that's very, very important. And so what we try to do in our company is wrap around that. We don't shoehorn you in a package. We sit down with you. We figure out what your demand is, what are your competitors doing, where your competitors' strengths and weaknesses, and then we go from there. We build from there. But building websites for the senior community is a it's a big market because there's a huge demand for businesses as to what it is that they actually need. So we highly recommend it. We'll probably actually put some of these checklist items also on our blog at gettheclicks.com. And if people have a question, they can go ahead and call us.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's show. I want to thank you, Stefan, for joining us today.
Thank you.